The order. Appreciate everyone's indulgences. Obviously, we know the last day is always a little bit of a busy one. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Givens, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Webb, Vice Chair Bledsoe, Chair McDaniel.
Here. Very well. Have a quorum duly constituted to conduct business. Obviously, the most important thing we're doing right now is time management. So at this point, I'd like to call Representative Bowling to the table. While he's coming up, we have House Bill 13. There is a Senate committee substitute to that. Motion. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Representative, it's an honor to have you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee. As you all well know, this Kentucky Product Development Initiative, we initiated 2 years ago as a General Assembly. We allocated $100 million to the program then. It was a pilot program at the time. We wanted to see how it did. In this Kentucky Product Development Initiative of 2024, we've made some changes that we think are necessary and moved along in the process. In House Bill 1, I think we've allocated some funds to continue this program for another 2 years. So the House made some changes to it, and then I know Chairman McDaniel has also taken a look at it and has made some changes as well in the sub.
And the sub merely changes that a couple things. First of all, counties that have not yet received a PDI grant would receive consideration, and there's a matching component. We reduced the match. The House's ranged from 10 to 50. Ours ranged from 10 to 20. Are there questions from the committee? I have a motion from Senator Mays Bledsoe, a second from Dr. Douglas. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Givens, Senator Bledsoe, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Webb, Chair McDaniel.
Aye. There being 10 aye votes, no nay votes, the matter passed with favorable expression. Representative, thank you very much. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
Okay, so the House is currently juggling a couple of different things at once. So let our next sponsor get here. I'm going to ask you to go to the back of your packet. You have House Joint Resolution 56 in there. And I will just speak briefly to 56. If you recall, last biennium, we parked a good bit of money for the improvement of the Commonwealth State Parks, directing them to come back to us with a plan in order to release the money. This is the actual resolution necessary to release the money that we appropriated in 2022, and there is a list of all the various and sundry parks to which that money is released as part of this House Joint Resolution. Are there any questions on the resolution at this point in time? Motion by Senator Givens, second by Senator Deneen. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Givens, Senator Bledsoe, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Webb, Chair McDaniel.
Aye. Being 10 aye votes, no nay votes, the measure passes with favorable expression. Very well. Okay. Next up. Yes. Senator Douglas.
You looked at me and you said Senator Neal. I know you know that I'm much more.
You are much more handsome, sir. I apologize for that. I do sincerely apologize.
I just want to clarify.
My apologies for that. Okay, next up we're going to take up House Bill 602. Okay, now House Bill 602 is what is referred to as the claims bill. These are calls upon the Treasury of the Commonwealth that otherwise had not been authorized, and you can flip through there, see the list of checks that were paid. If there are any questions, you are welcome to ask them at this point in time. But those of you who've been here will recall every year this is just basically the last little bit of financial sweeping for the Commonwealth at the end of a year. By Senator Boswell, second by Senator Mays Bledsoe. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell, Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Givens. Senator Bledsoe. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Webb. Chair McDaniel.
Aye. Being tied, aye votes, no nay votes. The measure passed with favorable expression. Very well. Representative Bray is here. If you would like to join us, sir. Next up in your packet, we will go to House Bill 563. Representative Bray has sponsored this, and I know is juggling a number of things. I'm going to ask you before we get started, am I better just to go ahead and speak to Representative Petrie's bill? My understanding is he's fairly tied up over there.
He is currently presenting a bill we very much both care about.
Okay, in which case I will handle presenting his if you'd let him know when you get back
Yes, sir.
there. All right, Representative, there is no sub for your bill, so please identify yourself and proceed.
Representative Josh Bray, House District 71. So House Bill 563 was a bill that passed unanimously through the House and unanimously through the Ag Committee on the Senate side. It establishes a water and wastewater program specifically targeted at struggling districts. It provides not only a revolving funds, access to capital that they ordinarily wouldn't have access to, but it also provides a grant portion for non-revenue generating items. There is, in the second section, it establishes within the fund an emergency section that will be completely administered by the KIA. So if you have some kind of catastrophic event where a utility service is decommissioned or taken offline, districts will have access to immediate capital to bring that back online. And then the third section of the bill deals with an incentive structure targeted towards failing districts who may have notices of violation against them, consent decrees against them. For instance, if you've got a sewer district that overflows every time it rains, there could be considerable amounts of fines levied against it. It would provide a waiver for a better run utility to come in and acquire that. Provided they fix the issue, it would forgive all of that. Be happy to take any questions, Mr.
Real quick, we have a motion from Senator Nemus. Do I have a second? Second from Senator Givens. Now we have questions. I had Senator Givens and then Senator Webb.
Mr. Chairman, very briefly, I want to compliment Representative Bray and everyone that's worked on this legislation. In multiple conversations with you, you've indicated KIA has been involved in the conversation at length. Kentucky Rural Water has been, and our talented LRC staff has helped to get this to the version that we have in front of us. Thank you for your leadership and your passionate work on this. This is not his first time presenting this bill in a committee on the Senate side. We had lots of questions about the legislation because it's a new and novel concept. He's been diligent enough and patient enough to walk through this presentation in two separate committees, and I'm excited about the potential that this legislation has for the Commonwealth, especially for struggling rural water districts or urban struggling water districts. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Webb.
And I too want to echo that as the original sponsor of the task force several years ago in response to the Martin County situation. The only potential concern, and I may be seeing ghosts behind trees here, is the final approval by the General Assembly of the project when you have a rural district with other source funding, and time may be of the essence to leverage that other source funding. Do you think that concern is real, or am I just imagining it?
That concern has been raised, but the districts that would qualify for this ordinarily wouldn't qualify for anything else. You've got districts that don't have audits, they would qualify for this. And if you don't have an audit, you don't qualify for any federal funding, and you don't qualify for a lot of state funding. So what this does is it makes available a pool of money that's not available or any other way. The timeline on it, at best, we're going to be looking at the KIA accepting applications, approving applications sometime October, November, because it's going to take a while to stand this up. They've got to create criteria. They have to create a scoring matrix. They've got to create package recommendations. We wanted to provide them with maximum flexibility to where, for instance, they could defer payments if they thought it necessary. They could provide a grant portion, forgivable loan. But it does require them, each district, and I failed to state this earlier, but it does require each district to implement better practices to address these issues so we don't continually throw money at poorly run systems and they don't ever make strides to improve. I have heard those concerns. As far as timing goes, I don't think it's an issue because without this and without the funding in House Bill 1, they're not going to have access to anything else anyway.
If I may, Ms. And I wanted you to have the opportunity to talk about that. And just, I know, working with you on this in the past, that if there are anything that goes wrong, that we could amend appropriately in the next session. So, but once again, I appreciate it. I wanted to put that on the record and give you the opportunity to explain it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir News.
I'd like, maybe you could clarify, because I'm assuming this. We had, it won't help us now because we've already taken care of it, but a small city inside Bullock County, theirs went down and raw sewage was going out in the creek and that. So then we were able to get MSD to come out, and we had some problems going that far. But would that take care of, in your language, take care of the, not the assessments, but the fines and that Metro had to pay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very well. Senator Boswell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are there any funds in here for private systems that are having problems? I mean, like, for example, in my area, I know there's several systems that were approved years ago by the state, but they are coming under heavy scrutiny around the state right now. So I think I know the answer, but I just want to clarify. Is there any money in this bill that would allow for help to any private system?
When you say private system, do you mean so the funding that's available is for publicly operated systems?
Oh, okay, that's it.
Very well. Seeing no more questions, Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Senator Boswell, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Givens, Senator Bledsoe, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Webb, Chair McDaniel.
Aye, there being 10 aye votes, no nay votes. The measure passes with favorable expression. Representative, enjoy your final presentation on the floor over there. And I will apologize to Representative Heath. I totally said Representative Petrie. This is your bill. So I apologize, Representative. I did not mean to do that. And if you want to come on forward, we're going to hear House Bill 723, for which there is a committee substitute. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion on the sub by Senator Givens. Do I have a second by Senator Boswell? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Ayes have it. Opposed, like sign. The measure does carry. Representative Heath has this bill. Just for a reminder, House Bills 563 and 723 all have the funding component, which will be coming forth in House Bill 1. These are largely the scaffolding that relates to those. Representative, if you don't care, I'm going to talk briefly about this before you get going here, because I'm the sponsor of the sub. And basically what the sub does is it takes the framework that's been in the underlying bill throughout, the idea that if you have a lower population density in your state and an increased or in your county and an increased out migration in your county, you stand a better chance to get a grant underneath of this. And instead of it's currently at DLG. The House bill had it going over to the Department of Agriculture. This has it going to the Cabinet for Economic Development, where ideally it will be administered. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Representative?
No, I think you're fine. Continue.
Very good. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Senator Givens, second by Senator Nemus. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell, Senator Deneen, Senator Douglas, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Givens, Senator Bledsoe, Senator Neal, Senator Nemus, Senator Webb, Chair McDaniel.
Aye. Being 10 aye votes, no nay votes, the measure passes with favorable expression. All right, next up we have House Bill 752. But we do have a committee substitute for that, and I believe we have Senator Howell in here for that. While he's coming up, can I have a motion to approve the Senate committee substitute? Senator Givens, second by Dr. Douglas. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. Senator Howell, why don't you tell us what you've done in the sub, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the committee. The sub goes in and adds in the additional work for the Mayfield Water and Sewer that was damaged in the tornado. This bill addresses the final round of funding for rebuilding Mayfield through the SAFE funds that we allocated 2 years ago. and also covers the Breathitt School school over in Breathitt County that had some work out of the East Kentucky Safe Fund with the appropriate language so that we don't compromise FEMA dollars.
Motion by Senator Mays Bledsoe. Do I have a second? Second by Senator Givens. I'm going to comment just briefly. Senator, you have been working this issue diligently, as you have so many issues for the 1st Senate District, which, as my roommate Stan Humphreys used to remind me, the average tenure from the 1st Senate District is not very long because it used to take a combination of train, rail, and horse to make it to the Commonwealth.
Feels like that some days now.
I can't imagine them ever having a finer member of the Kentucky State Senate than you, and I look forward to working further on this with you next session. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell. Senator Deneen. Senator Douglas. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Givens. Senator Bledsoe. Senator Neal. Senator Nemus. Senator Webb. Chair McDaniel.
Aye, there being 10 aye votes, no nay votes, the measure passes with favorable expression.
Thank you, Mr.
Senator,
Chairman.
thank you.
Members of the committee, my district appreciates it too. We got a long rebuild ahead of us.
Members of the committee, thank you for your time. Thank you for the study on these issues. And barring any catastrophe, hopefully this is the last time we will see each other in a committee meeting this session, but you never know how those last two